What's up, everybody? I'm former quarterback Malik Rozier, and if football, sports interviews, and having a good time interests you, then make sure to click the like and subscribe button as it really does help support this channel, and it also makes sure that you guys never miss a new video. How's everyone doing? And welcome back to another episode of the Malik Rozier Show. I definitely appreciate all the love and support. If you guys do not, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and share, as it really does go a long way. All right, so the first thing that we're going to get into is who are my top four teams to win the national championship for this year? I think number one is going to be very obvious. I think my other picks are going to be a little bit different. And I'm excited to see, if you guys agree or disagree with me. So number one is obviously Georgia. I think with their schedule and with the talent that they have, I think the only quote unquote question mark that a lot of people are asking is, can Carson Beck replace Stetson Bennett, which I definitely think he can. So I was on staff whenever, Carson was a freshman. That guy is very, very polished. He's smart. He's learned a lot. And I think, between the stuff he learned from Stetson and Munkin, and obviously with Bobo being there, I think that, Carson's going to be in a really, really good position to help the Georgia Bulldogs potentially go for a three-peat. Number two is LSU. My main reason is, Jaden Daniels and really Harold Perkins Jr. They have really two good leaders on the offense and the defensive sides. They have some talent. They have Brian Kelly. I think that, this team has a chance to, potentially go in to maybe even being, 12-0, maybe 11-1. The only problem is, and the only reason why I don't see these two teams, playing in the playoffs is because obviously the SEC championship game. So these are my two teams for the SEC championship game. I think that because of that game, you're going to have one of these teams knock off. You could have like an Alabama and Ohio State, another team potentially slip in because of, the SEC championship game. So my next team is Michigan. I think this team is set up for a really, really good year. Obviously, they have to get past Ohio State and they have to win the Big Ten championship. But I think with their quarterback, JJ McCarthy, and their running back, Blake, I think they're in a really, really good spot, to really put on some points. And obviously, Michigan has always had a pretty decent defense. To me, I think, with just Jim Harbaugh, they have to win the big games. They have to beat Ohio State and they have to win the Big Ten championship for them to go into the Final Four playoff. And lastly, USC. To me, this team has two really big obstacles. I think number one is Notre Dame. I really like Sam Hartman. I think Notre Dame can be a dark horse in the playoff running just because obviously they're an independent. So if they win their schedule, they don't really have, a conference game to play for. So they can go through, beat Ohio State. They can beat USC, which I think USC is going to be a very, very tough team, especially when with the addition of Cliff Kingsbury to USC. I don't know how many people remember that addition, but that offense is going to be clicking. They added Bear Alexander, so the defensive line will have some ferocity, will have some, attitude that I think USC really, really needed on the defensive side. So, these are my four, a couple of the dark horses that I can see going in. Obviously, I said Notre Dame. I think Ohio State's there, and I think Alabama. I think those are, the three dark horses that can kind of slide in. I know a lot of people are talking about Florida State. A lot of people are talking about potentially Clemson. To me, I don't know. I think Florida State has the talent. I just don't know if they're going to have the depth. I think their one can compete with a lot of people. I don't know if their second string can compete, with the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Michigans and their Ohio State second string. And I think that's kind of where the difference lack. It's not that their starters are back. I think they got elite starters. I think, between Jordan Travis and Jared Vorse, like they have guys that will be potentially first to second rounders. So it's not a talent level, especially with their starters. To me, it's some of the depth that they're going to have. And their team is Clemson. I do like Clemson. I do like the talent. I think their big question mark is Cade Klubnik. They can protect Cade. I think that he's going to do a great job of, Dylan and really getting the ball out to his playmakers. I just personally believe that if he gets put under pressure, he gets put in a, very last minute, hey, I'm throwing and getting hit. I'm constantly getting hit. To me, that's where I don't know how he responds. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I think there will be some games this year where he does get hit and he has to get up and, get hit again. And I think that's when we're going to see a lot. But to me, these are my top four. These are the four teams that I believe, will wind up finishing 1-4. But obviously, I think team 1 and 2 could change based on SEC championship game. So the next topic that we're going to go into is who should be QB3 for the New England Patriots. And the reason why I really watch the Patriots because both Mac Jones and Bailey Zappier are QB country guys. So any chance I get to watch one of those guys, I always take the chance to. But the battle that's really open is for QB3. And one guy is Tracy McSorely, and the other guy is this guy. So if you guys don't know who this is Malik Cunningham. Malik Cunningham played at the University of Louisville. Really, really good quarterback. was obviously behind Lamar Jackson. So to me, I think he learned a lot. He learned obviously, how to run, how to read defenses. You're seeing it right here. He did it throughout the NFL in the first preseason game. But when you really watch him throw, he was super consistent. The game didn't seem too fast for him. You can see he's tough right here. He gets his helmet yanked off. He's back in the game. Doesn't let things bother him. Patient in the pocket, not running out. And so this is one thing that I think that, the Patriots need. I think it's something that's a little different. Obviously, I expect Mac Jones to play for a very long time, but I think this guy potentially could be a good, 2, 3 guy, someone that gives you something a little different. Obviously, he does have to learn more. But I will say when it comes to someone that, threw for plenty of yards in college, had a bunch of touchdowns, does this for you on like, a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, his ability to really escape the pocket, extend plays down the field. You're going to watch this, goes right through the guy's hands. This guy can definitely make all the throws that you want. And obviously he has the legs if you go back and watch him in college. But, to me, I think between him and Trace McSorley, if you just go back and just watch the plays, this guy just seemed a lot more comfortable. Obviously, Trace McSorley's been in the offense a little more, so he knows a little more. But when you talk about this, being able to run and go score in the red zone, to me, that is very, very big. I think that's something that the Patriots need. I think for QB3, if I'm them, I'm going with Malik Cunningham just by what he showed in game one. Obviously, there's multiple preseason games, so he has to stay consistent. But if he can keep this up and, Trace McSorley can't come back from it, then I don't really see how they don't have Malik Cunningham as a QB3, or I don't see how someone else doesn't pick him up. I think that he could potentially be a fit in Tampa Bay as they have some quarterback struggles. I think maybe he goes up to, Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati might have some quarterback struggles with, Joe Burrow being hurt. So I think there's some options from him. Obviously, again, I don't expect him to start, but I do think that he's a good enough quarterback to find on a team somewhere, maybe as a second string or even a third string guy. And, obviously he needs to develop and grow. So next, we're going to talk about my man, Lamar Jackson. Is he going to have the best year? I talked about him earlier. There's a lot of drama about him resigning, what they're going to do. They need to get him receivers. And I personally think that Lamar Jackson will have the best year that he's ever had. And these are 3 reasons why. So number one, OBJ. Obviously, adding OBJ is huge. I think from a confidence standpoint, I think from just, it's going to create openings for other receivers like Rashad Bateman. And obviously my other guy here is Zay Flowers. I think he might not start at the beginning. He might get a little bit of PT, but I think halfway through to the end, Zay Flowers will become an electric guy. I think they're going to find ways to get him like speed sweeps, slant screens, just any way to get this guy the ball in his hands. He is electric. He does make plays. And lastly, their offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. I spent a year with him at Georgia. This guy loves to use his personnel and use them to the best of his ability. I think that's what any good offensive coordinator does. Obviously, he is to me, a pass game guru. And really who he helps is the receivers. To me, that was the biggest thing that I saw at Georgia with him, was his ability to help the receivers connect with the quarterback, to get the receivers in the mind of the quarterback so you have them on the same page. And I think that's going to be very, very big. I know Lamar's still going to run. I know Monken still does like to run the ball. He is not someone that's just going to go pure air raid. But I think, if you're talking about Lamar putting up numbers, having OBJ and Zay Flowers, how do you not open this offense up and throw the ball a lot? But I definitely think that will be a run game. There will be a mindset and an attitude that Todd Monken will want to set. And I mean, let's just go back and watch this guy. Like, this is who we're talking about. Like, I don't think many people really go back and, watch this guy throw. When I go back and watch him, can he throw from the pocket? Well, all these passes from the pocket, steps up, doesn't run. To me, I feel like when Lamar was in college, Lamar would definitely just take off running, try to make a play with his legs. But you watch him here. I mean, the New York Jets is a good defense. I mean, we're talking about them potentially going down just because they added Aaron Rodgers, going down and winning a Super Bowl. And now all of a sudden, like, he's throwing bombs versus these guys. He's putting up a lot of points. Again, staying in the pocket, fading away. Those are great balls. So to me, whenever people talk about, Lamar can't stay in the pocket, can Lamar run this type of offense? Lamar has shown us that he can. Yes, it's not as heavy of a power run. But when you talk about someone that's going to sit in the pocket right there, hit a guy in stride, obviously, the timings will be a little different because, the air raid based to a power run pro is different. But at the end of the day, this guy Lamar is super accurate. He was, the NFL MVP at one point. So you're talking about someone that, to me, can do it all. Lamar is that guy. I really don't understand how people, don't get that. I guess because he hasn't proven that. I mean, he has proven that he can sit in the pocket. So I don't know what a lot of people don't get about, this guy getting bad. Still question marks around. Is he going to run? Can he sit in the pocket and beat people? And to me, just if you go back and just watch his film, just legitimately just watch his film, just watch the way that, he stays in the pocket. Yes, he does run, but To me, I think in the NFL, he's learned that I have to be people in the pocket just like this, sitting there, throw, bap. That's it. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, he's doing it over and over again. This is just a simple highlight tape of his touchdown throws, and not really touchdown throws, but all his throws. But yeah, you'll see, man. The guy is sitting in the pocket, throw after throw, and he's making them over and over and over again. So I don't understand a lot of the talk about Lamar. And then obviously there's this guy, OBJ. A lot of people really forget about what he's able to do. At one point, to me, people talked about him being the best athlete on the earth, not even like in football on earth, whether it's soccer, basketball, football, lacrosse, it didn't matter. They had this guy as number one athlete. Yes, he got injured. Yes, it might take him a while to get back in the groove, but if this guy can get back in the groove, like you're putting him and Lamar on the same team, and then they added this guy who's their rookie that's just literally a blazer, just running by people. He has really good moves. He's really good in space. He's elusive. To me, he definitely has some things to learn from a route running standpoint. When you talk about someone that's really good, this is Florida State, the team that we're talking about potentially competing for the Final Four. Um, you know what I mean? Like, watch this. This guy has a split. like, like they're going to be a really, really good offense, and I'm super excited to see the Baltimore Ravens play this year. So the last thing that we're going to go over is my top three teams to win the Super Bowl. So number one, Kansas City Chiefs. I can't bet against my dog Patrick Mahomes. Kind of like betting against Tom Brady. It's just hard. I got my dog. Obviously there's some offense position that's moving around. I think that Sky Moore is going to be a huge, huge point of emphasis this year. Really, really replacing some guys like Juju and things like that. So I really, really think that the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously the offense isn't going to be as explosive as it was, 3 or 4 years ago, but you have Patrick Mahomes. They should be able to make plays. Number two, the 49ers. I think they have the best defense. I think they have probably, if not the best, second best running back. They got a really good quarterback situation. They have Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold. I definitely see Trey Lance getting traded. I see them sticking with Brock Purdy and having Sam Darnold as a backup. To me, I think Purdy does a lot of good things, and obviously, when you have a great team, the best thing you can have is someone that doesn't turn the ball over. And obviously, we saw what Brock Purdy did during the playoffs. And my last team is the Baltimore Ravens. We talked about them earlier. To me, I think with Monken, Lamar, the new offense, the newness of the receivers, and obviously Baltimore's always had a good defense. Their fans are crazy, so winning, at Baltimore is very, very hard. So these are my top three teams that I got winning the Super Bowl. If you guys have anyone different, please put it down in the comments. I'm very interested to see who you guys have as your top four for college and who you guys have your top four for the NFL. And again, if you guys do not, please subscribe, like, and share, as I love doing these videos for you guys. And also, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.